bro. But it's pretty good. So this girl goes to a Chris Brown concert, and she then does the meet and greet, and then her fiance saw the picture, and then it went viral, and then he got so embarrassed and he got hurt that he's like, yo, I'm out. And here's my take on that. First of all, Chris Brown is charging $1,100, which he can get. I think if he does 50 of those, that's an extra $50K. That's crazy. $1,100 per meet and greet, which is a picture, a couple of hellos probably, and they bounce. It's wild. Two, as someone who is in the same game as Chris Brown, just a different version of it, not as big or as expensive as him by any means. His whole meet and greet is like, yo, he grabs your ass, he does this. That's 2005 shit, bro. And I love Breezy, but I guess everybody goes in knowing that. I don't know if all of them are like that. So I don't know how he does that. 2005 meaning like I've had a lot of women come. Sometimes they're drunk. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're with their husbands. I've had women come and the husband's like, hey, will you sign my woman's, body part? I'm like, well, let's ask the woman. And the woman's like, yeah. So people have their own kinks. But I say 2005 because it was very normal. Maybe because it was the time, or maybe I was younger. I don't know. But there was a lot of, I was signing a lot of overhang. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes some backdoor right there in the club. After a show, and then it went away for a while. It was pretty popping for 7 or 8 years, and then it got less and less, and once the Me Too happened, it didn't stop. And now I just noticed it coming back this year. People are asking to have body parts signed again, so maybe everyone's like, fuck it, gloves are off. But so he does a pretty wild photo, I guess. Obviously, everyone is consensualized on it. It's all documented, and he says, I'm going to pick you up or whatever. And this is just an observation because if Chris sees this, I don't want him to get mad because I did a video with him. I really like him. I guess my comment is on the culture. So, how can I say this? So, if it's true, I'm not usually, I'm in both angles here because I have a girlfriend, but I also am an entertainer. I think it's okay for the woman to do that, but I think this guy is right to do what he did, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if your woman is going to a Chris Brown concert with her and her friend, it's on and pop, and it's already on and popping. And then if she goes to the concert and pays $1,100, I'll be really blunt with you because I like to be transparent. That's $1,100, okay? If people take a picture with me, it's $50 when we do it at the cons. And I try to give them as much time as I can, when they come through and stuff like that. And it's set up and there's a whole group there. And there's people less than me. There's people more than me. But that's not a crazy number, but it is for a picture. It is expensive. The most expensive autograph I know of that everyone's told me in this world is Tom Brady. Signature is $2,500. That is the top tier autograph in the world, I'm told. And the lowest is free. So if Tom Brady is $2,500 and Chris Brown is almost half of that, he's on the super high tier here. So that's already a commitment to pay, to go. It's Breezy, and that his whole meet and greet's going to be fun, it's going to be playful, and it's going to be sexual, right? Because I've seen a lot of these pictures of him grabbing and touching, and obviously they're saying, please do it, please do it. It's all consensual. So he picked her up. He wasn't even doing anything as crazy as he was in his other pictures, but he's got her right there. She's thick. She's looking at the camera. She is nonplussed. She's just like, oh, I'm right where I ought to be. So, he's just going to do his thing, roll 34 cities deep. And, that will just be another city. If she DM'd him, she might get one back. I have no idea. And then she might be on the roster, right? But my whole thing is that if I was that guy, I agree with him I agree that you should have fun, playful pictures, but you have to look at the whole Here's what I'm saying. I agree with the guy who called off the engagement, because if it's true, the thirstiness to go see just you, because Chris Brown with you and your girlfriend, the super thirstiness to pay $1,100, the extra thirstiness for that position, and the unquenchable thirst in her eye of just like, like she was about it. That picture said everything. Chris was just doing his picture, but she was about it. I'm not judging I am judging. Everybody can do whatever they want. It was all good. But I'm just telling you, if I'm that guy, I would feel like the biggest cuck. He probably paid for it. Like, yeah. Because I just feel like she was about it. I felt like that. It wasn't just taking a picture with your arm around her. It was like basically he propped her up, right by his tripod. Like that's just gonna, that's emasculating, and it's tough, for your partners. Like, I can't tell you how flirty people are, I didn't even realize it this weekend. I was at the con and I was taking a picture, and then, it's like this chick, I guess, was resting her hand on my ass. The table girl goes to me, Whitney, she goes, how'd that feel? I go, what do you mean? She goes, her hand was on your ass. And I was like, really? I didn't even feel it. She's like, oh yeah, it was really low. And I just was like, I didn't even notice it. But it's nice to be desired, but I have a girlfriend, and so I have to be cognizant of the respect level for her, which that's new for me. But she's so respectful to me, she takes pictures with people all the time, and it's like totally, completely just a normal photo. So, you can't stop people from loving someone that you're involved with. You can only have the person hopefully respect what you consider your boundaries. And that is always a difficult thing in a relationship. Trust me. But I'm surprised I'm doing this take, but I do feel like, because Chris is just doing one of a billion pictures, so he doesn't know anyone's thing. He's just doing his thing. He's chill. And then but he doesn't know the backstory. But it's becoming a thing now. You're going to see more of this stuff. I think it's going to blow up his pictures even more, because women are like, let me get in, let me be more scandalous, and more men can be like, fuck that.
Anomaly that was first appeared and detected in the ocean since the beginning of April around the solar eclipse.
What if I told you that what that is in the ocean can destroy the entire planet as we know it, and the entire world's military should be on call and on go? Now, let's talk about it. Godzilla ain't got shit on this. This reptile that could potentially be inside of the ocean that big, let me show you what I believe it is. I think it's warming up, and this is waking up. What in the absolute? Let me show you something on Google Maps. Watch this. Look at this. People.
This is what's
Do
crazy.
you see that?
That's crazy.
It has scales, people. It has knocked its way through South America and Antarctica, and it has scales, people. Look at this shit. You can't make this up. Please go to your own browsers and pull this up, people. Please go and pull this up so that you'll know that I am not going. Look at this. And I want you to see what area it's in. The same anomaly. Look where it's headed. Look. Off the coast of Africa. This is where we seen that anomaly.
So let me just stop this right here. So this is wild. I think if people who follow this follow it, there's a map on Google Maps or something there, and you can go to it, and there's an anomaly, and it's red because it's heat, right? And it's the size. It's like the size of two South Americas. It's making these. It was making 83-foot waves off the coast of South Africa, and I think they had a ton of. I don't think they had a tsunami, but they had a lot of rough like weather for a minute. And so then enough TikTokers got together and they said they contacted it, and then the bureau who runs this whatever the service they're using, like Google Earth, I don't know whether they said, oh, it's a glitch in our system. So no matter what happened when you looked for it, it went away. And then it came back. And then they said it was a glitch again, and then it's not gone away now. No, it was a red thing. It was bigger than like 2 continents. It was like there's 7 it was like the size of 2 of them. Okay. So just stay with this backstory. So there's that happening, right? And then in the ocean, all of the marine life, not all of it, but sharks are coming and beaching themselves. Whales are beaching themselves. Sharks are running around like lunatics. There was 3 attacks on one day on a Sunday in Destin. People are seeing more pods of orcas. They just discovered couple new species of things down in this other part. They in Middle Earth, they found an ocean in Middle Earth that they discovered. You can look it up. So I'll start with the logical. The logical is that global warming, which I don't actually think is logical, but let's just go there. The oceans are getting warmer. I was just in Miami and it felt like a baby sauna. It was warm, not uncomfortable. I loved it, but apparently a lot of these they're cold blooded animals, and so they could be swimming and going, this is so fucking hot, let me get the fuck out of this water. Now you can say great whites like don't like it, and people say they do, but I don't think they do because they're in New England, which is cold, Cape Cod, and they're in South Africa, which is cold. And now the Jersey Shore, the whole water looks way cleaner than Santa Monica, which is also a crazy anomaly. Okay, you can look it up. So you could say that the water is changing. You can say this shit is crazy. Then, that's number 1. Number 2 is there's this whole movement that mountains are trees. You can look that up, where people are finding all these fossilized things. Fossilized. So if you look at the mountain, they say it's the base of a tree, and that a tree grew there. If you look at, people are discovering these fossils, and it's a huge giant, looks like a finger, and it was part of the, Book of Enoch, and they're finding like dragons. They're looking at rocks and saying, this is the dragon's tail, this is this, and people are saying rocks are dragons. So that's a whole thing. We've got to put that picture up here. That's another movement. But this movement right here is what they call Leviathan. And so in the book of Leviticus, again, I'm not religious, I'm not like doing that, I'm just talking about the book in the Bible, that at the end of days the Leviathan will come from the ocean, and something I don't know, put the quote up, Kyle, and basically that the earth will be taken over by a monster like that. That looks like a fucking big dragon, which makes sense if you're talking about Satan and all this stuff, everything we've learned. And so you can laugh and say that or whatever, but they're saying that these sharks and the marine life are all freaking out, and they're literally beaching themselves. People are putting them back in the ocean, and they don't want to go back in. Like, they're fucking scared. A huge whales are bitten in half, but that could just be orcas. But they say even orcas, which are kind of the cops of the ocean, like no one can fuck with an orca. Not a blue whale, not a shark. A megalodon, which they say went extinct. So basically, people are tripping, and this is a little thing, but alligators are now coming up out of the shores in Florida. Now, people in Florida will say it's always happened, and I think that was new for me. I always thought they were in rivers and lakes. But I do have some people that DM me and said it's not normal, that they don't usually have alligators on the beach. But there's fucking alligators coming out of the ocean in Florida. Could you imagine being in the fucking ocean and an alligator that came from like a river was in the fucking ocean? Oh my God. Like the sharks, you feel like, well, it'd be terrible, but you can maneuver it and they might not want to bite you. You know what I'm saying? An alligator, you just always feel is going to bite you. Like, it's just going to be like, get the fuck, even it's like, get the fuck out of my way. I don't think anyone would swim in the water with a hippo, because a hippo, I just feel people think hippos are, the little bit I know about them, and I've seen them live in the fucking safari and on set, like, because I shot in Africa, and there was a part where hippos were running free. Hippos, no. They ain't saying hi. Hippos will fucking chomp you. So, and I think alligators are from that same belief system of like, I don't think they're going to swim by you, right? I think they're going to fucking bite you. So the fact that, sharks, believe it or not, I think are the more chill of all those three creatures. But apparently, if you believe it, there's a huge Game of Thrones dragon in the ocean called Leviathan. He's making his way. You can look at the anomaly. You can go on the Google and look at it, and it's there. But what's crazy is this guy found the actual, before it was just a lot of heat, so it was like a heat-moving entity. Also, people say it could be an underground mothership, but that's another thing. That was the first theory. But now this dragon theory is getting bigger and bigger, and if you look at it, he's pointing down. It looks like it could be the island of blah, blah, but it's an actual... It looks like a fucking huge dragon. And he says it's on the Google Maps now. Now, the issue is that can people put stuff in Google Maps that's fake? I've read two things, and both things said no. And then I read a third thing that says, yes, you can hack Google Maps and put stuff there. So if that's the case, then it could be that. But it also could be a Leviathan. If there was a giant dragon in the oceans, yeah, it's crazy.